The champion stood in the center of that ring, microphone gripping so tight his knuckles turned white, and what came out of his mouth wasn't just words, it was pure, unfiltered rage that made every single person in that arena rise to their feet. You think you've seen Cody Rhodes angry before? You haven't seen anything yet. This wasn't the polished American nightmare delivering carefully crafted promos. This was a man pushed beyond his breaking point, and when he opened his mouth, he didn't just call out the vision, he systematically dismantled them piece by piece in the most brutal verbal destruction we've witnessed in years. And if you think I'm exaggerating, stick with me because what went down needs to be broken down second by second, and by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why Paul Heyman looked like he'd seen a ghost, why Bronson Reed's cocky smile completely vanished, and why Braun Breaker, the supposed future of this business, looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but in that arena. Before we dive deep into this absolute chaos, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. I know, everyone asks for it, but here's the thing, we're building something special here at Ring Rumble. We're not just another wrestling channel throwing out hot takes for clicks. We're a community of people who genuinely love this business, who stay up late analyzing every promo, every match, every storyline twist. When you subscribe, you're joining thousands of fans who get it, who understand that wrestling isn't just entertainment, it's an art form. And honestly, with everything happening in WWE right now, you don't want to miss a single breakdown. So go ahead, tap that button, and let's experience this journey together. Now, let's set the scene because context matters here. The Vision has been running roughshod over the entire WWE roster for weeks now. Paul Heyman, the wise man, the special counsel, the manipulator extraordinaire, recruits Bronson Reed, this 300-pound tsunami of destruction who puts people through tables like it's his morning warm-up. Then he adds Braun Breaker, second-generation superstar, genetic freak, the man who everyone says is destined for greatness. Together, they're not just a faction, they're a statement. They're Heyman saying he can build another empire, another dynasty, that he doesn't need Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar to control WWE. He's got new toys, and they're bigger, badder, and hungrier than ever. For weeks, they've been targeting everyone. They've laid out legends. They've injured rising stars. They've sent a clear message that nobody is safe, and here's the kicker, they've been specifically circling Cody Rhodes. They've interrupted his segments. They've attacked him from behind. They've made it abundantly clear that they want what he has, that undisputed WWE Championship. But here's what they didn't count on. They didn't count on Cody Rhodes being the absolute wrong person to push. So there he was, standing in that ring with fire in his eyes, and he starts off by addressing Paul Heyman directly. And this is where it gets good. Cody doesn't just insult him, he psychologically dissects him. He talks about how Paul Heyman has spent his entire career hiding behind monsters, behind Brock Lesnar, behind The Undertaker, behind Roman Reigns. He points out that Paul has always needed someone bigger, someone stronger, someone more physically imposing to validate his existence in this business. And then Cody delivers this line that made the entire arena erupt. Paul, you're not a wise man. You're a coward in a suit who's terrified of being irrelevant, so you keep recruiting young talent and convincing them they need you, when the truth is you need them. The camera cuts to Paul Heyman, and you can see it in his face. That calculated composure he always maintains? Gone. His jaw is clenched. His eyes are darting. Because Cody just exposed the one truth Heyman never once acknowledged, that his entire legacy is built on the backs of other men's violence. And Cody wasn't done. Not even close. He turns his attention to Bronson Reed, and this is where the promo shifts from calculated to absolutely savage. Cody acknowledges Reed's power. He acknowledges that Reed is dangerous, that he's a big man who can do damage. But then he says something that cuts deeper than any physical attack could. Bronson, you want to know why you'll never be a world champion? Because you're lazy. You're content being Paul Heyman's attack dog because it's easier than actually putting in the work to be a complete performer. You can hit a tsunami splash, congratulations. But can you tell a story? Can you make people care? Can you carry this company on your back night after night after night? No, you can't. And that's why you'll always be somebody's muscle and never the man. The arena went nuclear. Because here's the thing, Cody wasn't just cutting a promo. He was speaking uncomfortable truths that the WWE Universe has been thinking but nobody's had the guts to say on television. Reed has all the physical tools, but there's always been that question mark about whether he has the complete package. And Cody just put that question mark on blast for the entire world to hear. Then comes the part that honestly might have been the most brutal of all. Cody addresses Braun Breaker, and you could feel the temperature in that arena change. Because Braun is different from Reed and Heyman. Braun is young. Braun has potential. Braun is supposed to be the future. And Cody knows this. But instead of going easy on him, Cody goes harder on him than anyone else. He talks about Braun's family legacy, his uncle Rick Steiner, his father Scott Steiner, the legendary Steiner brothers tag team. He acknowledges that Braun has every physical advantage you could ask for. Speed, power, agility, charisma. But then Cody delivers this absolutely scathing indictment. Braun, you have everything you need to be a megastar except one thing: a spine. You have the genetics, you have the talent, but you don't have the courage to step out of Paul Heyman's shadow and become your own man. And that's the saddest part of this entire situation. I look at you, and I don't see a future world champion. I see wasted potential. I see someone who's going to look back in 10 years and realize he let a con man in a suit rob him of his destiny. The look on Braun Breaker's face said everything. This wasn't just anger. This was shame mixed with rage, the worst kind of emotional cocktail. Because deep down, there's a part of Braun that probably knows Cody is right. He's aligned himself with Heyman looking for shortcuts, for instant credibility, instead of carving out his own path. And Cody just held up a mirror and forced him to look at that reality. But here's where Cody Rhodes truly separated himself from every other babyface champion in recent memory. He didn't just criticize the vision, he challenged them. He told them that he's sick of the sneak attacks, sick of the ambushes, sick of them acting like cowards. He said if they want the undisputed WWE Championship so badly, if they really believe they're the future of this company, then step up and face him like men. And then he issued a challenge that made the entire wrestling world lose their minds, a gauntlet match. Cody Rhodes versus all 3 members of the Vision in one night. Let that sink in for a second. The champion is offering to defend his title against 3 opponents consecutively in one evening. That's not just confidence. That's borderline insanity. That's a man so fed up with being disrespected that he's willing to put everything on the line just to prove a point. And the WWE Universe ate it up because this is exactly what we want from our champions. Not someone who runs from challenges, not someone who needs protection, but someone who stands in the center of that ring and dares the world to take their best shot. Now, Paul Heyman is a master manipulator, right? He's talked his way out of every corner he's ever been backed into. But even he couldn't worm his way out of this situation. The crowd is chanting yes. 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 The energy in that building is absolutely electric. And Cody is standing there, championship over his shoulder, microphone in hand, waiting for an answer. The pressure is immense. If the Vision backs down, they look weak. If they accept, they're walking into what could be a trap. But Heyman has built his entire reputation on never backing down from a challenge, on always having a plan, on always being the smartest guy in the room. So Heyman steps forward, and you can see him trying to regain control of the narrative. He starts talking about Cody's father, about the Rhodes family legacy, trying to get psychological. He brings up Dusty Rhodes, trying to rattle Cody emotionally. And for a moment, just a brief moment, it looks like Heyman might actually talk his way into controlling this situation. But then Cody does something that nobody expected. He laughs. Not a nervous laugh, not a fake laugh, but a genuine, from-the-gut laugh that silences everyone. And Cody says, "Paul, you want to talk about my father? Let's talk about my father. My dad taught me that in this business, you can talk all you want, but eventually, you have to back it up in that ring. He taught me that being a champion isn't about holding a title, it's about defending it against anyone, anywhere, anytime. He taught me that real men don't hide behind factions and attack people from behind. They look you in the eye and they fight you face to face. So if you want to invoke my father's memory, fine. But understand this, Dusty Rhodes would be ashamed of everything you represent. He'd be disgusted by the way you've manipulated these 2 young men. And he'd be damn proud of me for calling you out on your garbage." The place exploded. Because Cody just turned Heyman's psychological warfare back on him and made it 10 times more effective. He honored his father's legacy while simultaneously destroying Heyman's credibility. It was masterful. It was the kind of promo that reminds you why Cody Rhodes is not just a great wrestler but an incredible storyteller. And here's what makes this entire situation so fascinating from a storyline perspective. The Vision can't back down now. Their credibility is on the line. But accepting this challenge could be walking into a trap. Cody Rhodes has been on an absolute tear since winning that championship. He's defeated everyone put in front of him. He's proven time and time again that he belongs at the top of this industry. So even with the numbers advantage, even with Paul Heyman's strategic brilliance, the Vision is facing an uphill battle. The implications of this are massive. If Cody wins this gauntlet match, he cements himself as one of the most dominant champions in recent memory. He proves that no faction, no matter how dangerous, can take him down. But if the Vision wins, if they actually manage to defeat Cody Rhodes in his own challenge, then WWE has a new era on their hands. Bronson Reed becomes world champion, Braun Breaker gets validated as the future, and Paul Heyman proves once again that he's the greatest manipulator in sports entertainment history. This is the kind of storytelling that makes wrestling incredible. This is why we invest our time, our energy, our emotions into these characters and these feuds. Because when it's done right, when you have a performer like Cody Rhodes who understands the assignment, who knows how to make you believe every single word coming out of his mouth, it transcends entertainment. It becomes art. And I haven't even mentioned the best part yet. After Cody finished his promo, after he laid out the challenge, after Paul Heyman reluctantly accepted, Cody dropped one final bomb. He looked directly into the camera and said, "To everyone in that locker room, To every WWE superstar watching this right now, this is what a champion looks like. This is what it means to wear this title. You don't run from fights. You don't make excuses. You stand in this ring and you defend what's yours against anyone who thinks they can take it. And if that scares you, if that intimidates you, then you don't deserve to call yourself a WWE superstar. That statement right there is going to reverberate through the entire roster. That's a champion setting the bar impossibly high and challenging everyone else to rise to that level. That's Cody Rhodes essentially saying that the standard has changed, that mediocrity is no longer acceptable, that if you want to be in the main event scene, you better be willing to put everything on the line. Look, I could talk about this for hours because there's so much to unpack. The psychology, the delivery, the crowd reactions, the long-term storytelling implications, it's all absolutely perfect. This is the kind of promo that will be studied by future wrestlers trying to understand how to connect with an audience. This is the kind of moment that defines careers. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP, and I genuinely appreciate you spending your time here with Ring Rumble. Drop a comment below and tell me what you thought of Cody's promo. Do you think he can actually defeat all three members of the Vision in one night? Is he being overconfident, or is this exactly the kind of champion WWE needs right now? And don't forget to smash that like button and share this video with your fellow wrestling fans because we need to spread the word about moments like this. This is history in the making, and we get to witness it together. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, keep the Rumble alive.